Approximately 3 hours ago, a video was uploaded to the channel. This video was an update video by Andrew, my partner. Upon reviewing this footage, I have determined this is what I must do. Well, first, here to fix the lighting in here. It's a little dark. Um, anyways, yeah, I thought I should make an update video myself. Yeah. Hi. My name is Carter, which you may or may not be able to guess if you watched his video already. Uh, or if you're watching my video first, then hi, I'm Carter. My partner is Andrew. He has the other video that's on the channel. And we together are Face to Face Productions. And we are making a video game. Yay. Well, we're trying, at least. So yeah, Andrew is the artist. He makes all the cool, like, the models and the monsters and all that cool stuff. And I am the programmer. So I do the code. And which is exciting. So yeah. Like I said, he made an update video about his art side of things, so I figured I should make one of the coding side of things. And if my dog would be quiet, we can do just that. Alright, let's do this. So, this is obviously Unity, which is the coding, or not the coding, the game thing I use, I guess, whatever. So yeah, I sent a demo thing over to Andrew last night, and so you can watch him try that out. I am going to use these special skills I have, aka the ability to access these things as the game plays, to make it a little bit easier to show you guys what's up. So yeah. So basically, what this game is it is a horror maze survival thing, I guess. And once this starts playing, you'll actually probably hear some music because I was lazy, and instead of looking for good temporary sounds, I just decided to use the music I already had, which is that song. Yeah, it's awesome. Actually, it is one of my favorite songs. Uh, yeah, bad lip reading if you're wondering. Anyways, so yeah, as you can see, uh, this is a map, and it was randomly generated on Start, which is why there's the loading screen there to, hide it. Camera tricks, yeah. Okay, that music is a little annoying right now, so I'll turn that off. So, yeah, so basically, how this works is each piece, well, basically, it's, if you can see, there's all these numbers here and stuff. Basically, each of these is a chunk of these little things, and within each little thing, it basically creates the maze, and then, each piece is a different thing. And Andrew threw these together, and basically there's different types. There's like a three-way for that. There's a four-way here. There's a turn, dead end, a straight, and then these red ones are just ones I put in to fill up the gap, because as you can see, there's no actual connection between any of those. Yeah, so you might be wondering why I decided to split it up in these little chunks. Or you're not wondering, and I'm going to tell you anyway, so deal with it. Yeah, so each of these, so when the player actually, if I zoom in here, what is the player anyways? When the player, yeah, there he is. When the player exits one of these areas, what actually happens is it regenerates. So, I give the player some more battery, which I don't know why it reset to 0 on me. Yeah. So, where's Fred? So, as you can see, oh, there he is. Oh, I scared him away. If Fred gets within a certain range, specifically if he gets hit by these ray casts, they're called, he'll basically run backwards. In this case, he's going to run to the end of this little path here. So yeah, so anyways, I should so as I exit this area, if it works, which, there we go, as you, if you can tell, it just randomly changed, right? So that's kind of the point. Whenever you exit one of these areas, it will randomly regenerate so that this map is constantly changing, right? Why? Because a simple static maze was too easy. So yeah, it will regenerate and do all that cool stuff. So yeah, so the way the game works right now, if you see these little green things here, those are the paths these guys are taking. So here's Fred. Let me do a close up. Yeah, that's Fred. He plays that one song when he gets closer to you. And he is our, well, we can call him our trapper because, except for when you shine him with the light, he will always chase you, no matter where you are on the map. You could be way over here, he could somehow be over there. He will always try and get to you. So that's Fred. Up here, there's two of the guys actually. Huh. No. Anyways, this little pink one here is Susie. Hi, Susie. She is blind, or she's supposed to be, technically. And if you can tell, her path in here actually does not end at the player, it just goes past it to over here, I believe. And that is because Susie does not directly chase the player. She is blind, which means she cannot see you. And if you watch and it doesn't glitch out, she just walks past you. But if you chase after her, oh no, she got you. So basically, if you move around while she's close enough to you, she'll hear you, your footsteps, which I muted it, so who cares. But yeah, she'll hear you and then she'll reset her path to chase you again. And just like Fred, and you can escape, but in order to escape, you gotta first you gotta get far enough away, and then you gotta stay far enough away for, I believe right now I have it set for 3 seconds. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, so she'll chase you for up to 3 seconds, even after you're out of her range. Once you get out of her range, she'll reset and she'll randomly go somewhere else. So that's her. Let me reset so I can show you the rest of the dudes. Actually, let me just, after it loads, I'll disable Susie and Fred so that you guys can meet the other parts of the family. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering, I don't know if Andrew mentioned something, but Susie is considered our wanderer, meaning she'll wander until, she hears you. Let me disable Fred and Susie. Alright. So, okay, the flashlight's acting weird. I don't know why. I don't really care either. Regardless. Let's meet the other family members. I believe this looks like Greg's. Yeah, it is Greg. Hi, Greg. So, Greg is actually our screamer. And let me actually give him a speed boost. So that he can get over to us faster, so I don't have to be, and I'll also head his way. So Greg kind of acts like Susie in that he has a random path and he'll head that way, unlike Fred who just chases you. Now, Greg is actually, he's the opposite of Susie in a way, whereas Susie is blind, Greg is deaf, meaning Greg cannot tell when you are close to him, which means if I take the flashlight and I don't know what's, I turn it off, it worked in Android's version, I don't know what's up with it on mine, but he completely ignores me. As you can see, he just walks right by. However, I crank the battery level again, and I try and turn it on. I don't know what's up with it. Battery. Maybe I do like 500. Okay. I think that was the issue. It was trying to drain 0 parts of the battery. And because I'm lazy, I'm gonna just move him over here. Right, for teleporting. So as you can see, now he's chasing me because my flashlight is on. Yeah, come get me. So yeah, that's how he works. Interesting. He's not killing me. Anyways, so yeah, and another interesting thing about Fred or Greg is you can't really tell until I turned everybody else off. But if you're within his range, he will draw everybody else on the map to that location. He's a screamer, is what we call him. So yeah, he will cause literally everybody to head that way, which in this case, Fred is already chasing you, but he'll stop being scared and run that way. Susie is blind, but is not deaf, so Susie can run that way. And then Ivan, who I will show you next, is actually where is it? Teleporter. This is Ivan. He's like a little eye, which is why we call him Ivan. And what he does is he's a teleporter, so he will randomly teleport to different areas on the different parts, right? So with Greg, the next time he teleports, he will teleport into this area. So yeah. But because I don't want to wait that long, I'm going to disable Greg. And for Ivan, because I want to show you guys, I'm going to turn off his teleportation ability and just walk up to him. So Ivan likes eye contact. Okay? So you can move around with him, you can do whatever. It's a little glitchy. But basically what happens is as long as you maintain eye contact, as long as, or if you want to know how this works, as long as these things are touching him while you're within his range, he will be fine. However, as you can tell, if you stop looking at him, you are dead. Very dead. So that's how he works. So as you can tell, kind of all 4 of these guys have a completely different defense mechanism, I suppose. Which means you gotta kind of keep track, right? And I turned off the audio because that's annoying sometimes. You would kind of hear it in Andrew's demo play. But basically each guy is gonna have their own audio too, so that you know who's who and where's everything is at, and stuff like that. So knowing that, you have to anticipate who's coming, who you might run into, and prepare for that. Um, which can be difficult, especially if you get if you get Susie and Greg in the same area, you gotta turn off your light and stay still. But then if Fred comes in, you gotta either put it or keep that light on. If you end up in the same area as Ivan, uh, you know, keep that light on, so hopefully you don't run into Greg at all. And so on and so forth. Uh, and it's completely random. Well, maybe not. Well, relatively random, I guess. So you never know exactly what might happen. Let's see. The next thing I'm going to show you is the batteries. Right. So let me just. So when you, uh, when you're playing, you know, most people will probably want the flashlight on, right? Because it's dark. You can play with the lights off if you want to save batteries to save it for Fred or Ivan. Um, the trick. So you would save battery and it's fine, but if the light is on, then let me disable these guys so they don't bother us. Uh, if the light is on, you will lose batteries. If you see over here, it's slowly, not slowly, that's kind of fast. It's quickly dropping, and as you can see in the little icon in the corner there, it is dropping down to a couple levels. So doot, doot, and then when the battery runs out, or when the battery getting low, you need to turn off the light to try and save it, or you would look for other batteries, I guess. Pickup batteries, I guess. No one's there. And because I have the ability to do so, I will just find them myself. Oh, hey, there's one. That's a close one. Oh, it's outside of the map because I haven't changed it with a update with the area. So yeah, that's something to fix. Where'd you go? No, seriously, where'd it go? Okay, that was weird. Yeah, so let me just move this one over so you can see what it is. Hooray for real-time editing. Right. So, and there's like little areas inside of each of these things that the batteries are allowed to spawn in. So it's not like they just randomly pop up everywhere. There'll be actual specific locations. So that's a battery. Yes, I know, such art. Like I said, I am a programmer. I do not do the fancy stuff. So that's Andrew's job. And I don't know what's up with the shadow. Oh, crap. Oh, wait, no, this is good. So as you can see, I'm out of batteries. That was totally planned. So what you do, run into it. Yay, you have batteries. Each battery refill is 50%, right? We might add a reloading mechanism later, so you might collect batteries and save them, and then reload it. But then have to time your reload because while you're reloading, you can't really do much. Uh, so we might add that in the future. I was also gonna make sure that when the light is off, I was gonna maybe increase the fog a little bit because it's really not that hard to play without the light because it's not much different if you adjust to it. So I want to make it a little bit harder to play without it on. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, that's that stuff. Um, So that's kind of how it all plays. Now for the part that's really how I did. What is it? There it is. So this is the script that I use if it loads on the correct monitor, which it is not doing. There we go. Yeah, so these are all the scripts I use. Here's the enemy one, spawning, main menu, all that good stuff. So basically with this, the way that I spawn the map is, this is actually controlling each of those little sections, not the full map yet. Well, I mean, it kind of spawns a full map. Well, the first one that's in there, the 001, it'll spawn the rest of them in, but the rest of them don't do that. So basically how each thing is made, it is basically the first thing it does is it updates the map, which update or build in the initial thing. First thing it does is it destroys any previous objects, because you don't want those cluttering up the scene. Then it basically just then it figures out how wide it is and does all. For this, I made it where, like each map has or each section, I guess, has a specified opening in it, where to connect to the other opening sections. So what this stuff is it just makes sure that the ones on the very outside of the play area, it's closed off. Otherwise, the player can just walk into the void. So this just pretty much sets up, I use a 2x2 array to run this. So it sets that up, and then what it does is it creates a maze, which if you guys mess with the maze stuff at all, coding wise, basically what it does is each step, I guess, it randomly generates a direction and then goes that direction for 2 spaces, and then does that again, either turns or goes straight or does something else. And it'll do that until it reaches the end of the array, in my case, at which point it will backtrack to the last position that it can go a different direction, which is what makes the branches, right? And then basically the way that maze would work, it would work, but it would only mean that there's only one path every time, which is not really what we wanted. At least that's not what we set up right now. So what I did was I created a way to basically open up the map a little bit. Basically what it does is this open map. It randomly chooses like some walls that are built in and removes them, so that it will make a connection path. And then I have that in a public variable over here, so you can choose how opened up you want it. Yeah, so that's what that does. And then the match template thing is a name. Poorly programmed to override I put in because it would every now and again get stuck in a Stack Overflow loop, so I just threw that in because I was too lazy to figure out another bits for now. I should probably do that in the future, but oh well. So yeah, it does that, which creates the maze, right? Which it doesn't create the maze as you see it, like in that. It actually creates a maze. Like here, let me show you kind of my demo thing that I was using to figure out how the maze itself works. And yes, I use both Visual Studios and Eclipse to deal with it. Yeah, we did extra projects. yeah, so yeah, I actually did not know. Well, I knew a little bit of C sharp before we started this, but doing this really taught me a lot about it. Before I did a lot of you know Java, which is why I initially started in this. And that is a truck. Anyway, um, so yeah, if I play this, you're trying to see how it works. This is a small version, but actually let me increase the size of it to like 10 by like 10. Yeah. So this is what the array is basically looking like in here. But then, as you can see, there's a lot of these blank spaces, which if you looked in the thing on Unity, they were all very compact. Uh, that's because when I uh, build the map, because right now it's all just an array. When I actually build the map, I check basically every other spot to see what it is. Um, so in this build map thing, it basically it goes through each area of the array, every other one, and then it checks like in this it would be like okay, check this quarter, okay, check does it have a wall or does it have an opening or a closing to its left or left. Uh, it doesn't exist, so therefore it has a closing. Does it have one above it? It doesn't exist, so it's a closing. Does it have one to the right? It's a wall, so it's a closing. Does it have one to the bottom? It's an opening. So therefore it has one opening, the self bottom opening. So with that, it knows it has connected paths is equal to 1, right? And then the paths 0, this array is just up, down, left, right, don't worry about it. One of these says that it's the bottom opening. So doing that, it will spawn in the correct, little tile, right? And then we'll move on, right? And then eventually it'll reach, say, this one here, in which case it'll check above it, it's closed. It'll check to the right, it's an opening, bottom opening, left opening, so therefore it's a T, right? So basically how I set it up is so that because it's checking every other one, it basically eliminates the gaps and only makes it the pieces themselves. So it's a lot more compact and you don't have like these super long straightaways for no reason. They'll be straightaways still, but they're not just like 10 straightaways in a row, then return because that would take forever to get through. Um, so yeah, it just compacts it all into a really nice little thing, and yeah, so that's like kind of how the cave generation works, and then if, basically after it builds it, then it checks like for the player, like if the player gets outside of a certain range, you'll basically run all that again so that it changes it. Um, so yeah, that's how the cave works. And then whenever you change it, you have to update the enemy tracking, otherwise they'll run into the wall. So which, while it would be funny, it would not be effective gameplay material. Uh, so yeah, so this is just the enemy stuff. It's a lot of other stuff. I'm not going to go through it all. It randomly sets position, if the path is completed. I'm actually using something called A star, I think is how you pronounce it. It's the, multiplication T above the 8. I don't know how to pronounce it. Who cares? Um, yeah, A star pathfinding, which is I mean, if you're not a programmer, you probably don't know much about it, but basically it's like a grid. Actually, I didn't kind of show you. Uh, yeah, A star. Uh, it's a basically what it does is it's a grid or graph, I guess in this case, that it's a little glitchy because mine is so big. It's just this grid of just a bunch of nodes, and basically what it does is, like, say Fred is at node 3, 9 or whatever, and then he wants to get to the player who is currently at node I don't know 10. I don't know. So basically what it does is it'll go down each node and basically check for the shortest path to it by basically connecting the dots. And if it goes in one direction and then one of the nodes happens to be inside a wall, then it'll be like, nope. And basically go backwards until it gets to a node that is not, in a wall or something anymore and move to the next one. Basically, I think that's basically how a star pathfinding works. I'm probably oversimplifying it, but yeah, whatever. That's how it works. So basically, it does that, and then every time it re-updates the map, it has to scan all the nodes again, which I'm still not sure if that's the most effective way of doing it. Because sometimes when I play, I have lag whenever you update a map, but I'm never sure if that's just because the things are spawning or it's just a little hit up in the engine at the time, because I usually play it like this and not in like a demo thing like Andrew. Um, or if it's just because of the scanning thing, because I know that can be kind of resource intensive. So that's something I gotta figure out eventually. Um, but yeah, other than that, I mean, it's working, yay. And then, if you look in here, these are all the GUIs or, user interfaces, the pause menu. You can see the dev screen is behind there. The loading screen. And then, my favorite, the spoot. The spoot. And if you, that's my dog. Come here, bitch. No, okay. Yeah, that's my dog. Temporary asset because I am lazy and that's just a picture I happen to have. And it's a cute picture and kind of ironic. And yeah, this is my dog. This is my doggy. Pitcho, you are a star. Look at you. You are in a video game. And you are trying to eat my snacks. Okay. Good job. So yeah. That is, I believe, pretty much it in terms of what I've done so far. Next couple things is, I know Andrew really wants Xbox control stuff. I think it's halfway working. I gotta get the right stick working, I think, if I understood correctly. Let's see what else. So some more optimization stuff, probably. That's always a needed thing. I might change the battery thing to work a little bit easier so it's not so hard to find. Because I know Andrew had a problem with that in his demo. Let's see what else. Actually, I think we're almost ready to start on the story, or at least the programming part of the story. Yeah, that's right. This game is gonna have a story mode. It's not just a survival mode. At least that's the plan. Yeah. So let's see. So yeah, probably just some optimization and then making sure that I can insert the correct elements when I need them to be for story purposes. And yeah, maybe I had an idea. I haven't really talked to Andrew about it that much. I had an idea for another monster that I was gonna prototype on my own. Um, but if that works out, then I might show you guys, and it might be a fifth monster. But of course, if it doesn't work out, which is quite likely, then you will never know. Regardless, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, thank you guys for watching, because I'm sure there are many of you watching, and not just Andrew. Uh, yeah, but if you are watching and you are not Andrew, thank you. If you are Andrew, well, still thank you. I don't know. Regardless, yeah. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned and check out Face to Face Productions on. I mean, on YouTube, so you already know about that. We should be on Facebook. Maybe not at the time of the upload. Actually, I should probably do that. Yeah, Twitter also eventually. Maybe not yet. Yeah, I gotta do a lot of stuff like that. And then this game, of course. If it gets finished, we will probably put demos up on Game Jolt someday. So yeah, just stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you guys are excited. Yeah. Peace out.